Forget what you think you know about world records. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on Sydney McLaughlin's unparalleled run. Not just celebrating the outcome, but meticulously deconstructing the how. Prepare to see the invisible forces and strategic. On the screen, you see a flash of gold and blue. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, a picture of calm focus amidst a storm of expectation. The gun fires. What happens next isn't just a race. It's a recalibration of what we believed was humanly possible. The clock stops at 50.68 seconds, a time so fast it shattered her own world record and sent shockwaves through the entire sport. Commentators are screaming, the crowd is in disbelief, and Sydney herself looks almost stunned by the sheer magnitude of her achievement. For a moment, the impossible had become reality. But how? How did she run a time that would have been competitive in the flat 400-meter final? The 400-meter hurdles is arguably one of track and field's most brutal events. It's a full-lap sprint, but with 10 barriers strategically placed to disrupt your rhythm and drain your energy. It's a delicate, punishing dance between speed, endurance, and technical perfection. So, how did Sydney McLaughlin not just conquer it, but redefine it? That's the question we're answering today. We're going beyond the finish line to dissect the biomechanics, strategy, and unseen factors that created this historic moment. Let's start with the physical machine itself. To understand Sydney's dominance, you have to look at her as a biomechanical marvel. She's not just a sprinter, and she's not just a hurdler. She's the perfect synthesis of both. Let's slow it down and analyze her form. Look at her stride pattern as she approaches a hurdle. There's a consistency, a metronomic rhythm that's almost hypnotic. Many hurdlers have a slight chop or hesitation in their final steps before takeoff. Sydney doesn't. Her stride remains fluid, powerful, and long, allowing her to attack the barrier without losing momentum. It's aggression under perfect control. Now, focus on her clearance. This is where her efficiency is truly on display. The goal in hurdling is to spend as little time in the air as possible. You're not jumping over the hurdle. You're running through it. Watch her lead leg snap up and then drive back down to the track. There's almost no wasted motion. Her center of mass barely rises. Simultaneously, her trail leg demonstrates incredible flexibility and coordination. It tucks in tight to her body, clearing the barrier with millimeters to spare, and then immediately cycles forward to begin the next stride. This rapid ground contact time is crucial. She's not floating. She's sprinting, with the hurdles as mere inconveniences. This combination of explosive power off the ground and balletic flexibility in the air minimizes deceleration, allowing her to maintain a velocity that other athletes simply can't match from barrier to barrier. But physical gifts alone don't break world records by this margin. You need a strategic masterclass, and that's exactly what Sydney delivered. For decades, the holy grail for female 400-meter hurdlers has been maintaining a 15-stride pattern between each hurdle. It's faster and more efficient, but it's also incredibly demanding, requiring a long, powerful stride that's difficult to sustain as fatigue sets in. Most athletes who attempt it can only hold it for a few hurdles before needing to switch to a more manageable 16-step pattern. Here's where Sydney rewrote the rulebook. In her 50.68 race, she held that elite 15-stride pattern for the first 9 hurdles. Let me repeat that, 9 out of 10 hurdles. We can overlay her race against her competitors. While they are starting to adjust, adding in that extra, slightly slower stride. Sydney is just relentlessly churning, eating up the track with that same powerful rhythm she started with. This isn't just about running fast. It's about a deep, intuitive understanding of pace and energy distribution. She runs her own race, completely insulated from the chaos around her. Her internal clock is so finely tuned that she executes her race plan with surgical precision. Then comes the final 100 meters. After 9 hurdles, this is where most races are won or lost. It's the pain locker, where lungs burn and legs turn to lead. And this is where Sydney McLaughlin doesn't just hold on. She accelerates. How? It goes back to the efficiency we talked about. By clearing the hurdles so cleanly and maintaining her stride pattern for so long, she has conserved a sliver more energy than her rivals. While they are fighting to stay upright, she is still in a sprinting form. Look at her knee lift and arm drive coming off that final hurdle. It's the form of a fresh 200-meter sprinter, not an exhausted 400-meter hurdler. She found an extra gear because her superior technique and strategy allowed her to have one in reserve. She didn't fade, she crescendoed. Of course, an athlete of this caliber doesn't emerge from a vacuum. Behind this historic performance is a team and a mindset that are just as elite. A pivotal piece of the puzzle is her legendary coach, Bobby Kersee. Kersee is known for his demanding, innovative training methods that build not just physical strength, but an unbreakable mental toughness. He's coached some of the greatest track athletes in history, and his influence is clear. The training regimens are designed to push athletes beyond their perceived limits in practice, so that on race day, under the brightest lights, the pressure feels familiar. They've been there before, 1,000 times. This brings us to Sydney's mental fortitude. Watch her pre-race routine. She's calm, she's focused, she's in her own world. In post-race interviews, she often speaks about faith and trusting the process, deflecting the immense pressure onto a foundation of belief in her preparation. This composure is a weapon. In a sport decided by hundredths of a second, the ability to execute under extreme stress, to block out the noise and trust your training is what separates the great from the legendary. She's not just running against the clock or the other athletes. She's running against a perfectly rehearsed plan in her own mind. Now, we can't ignore the role of technology. Modern tracks are faster, designed to return more energy. Spikes are lighter and more responsive than ever before. These advancements certainly contribute to faster times across the board. They raise the tide for all ships, but they don't account for one athlete being so far ahead of the fleet. The technology is available to everyone in the final, yet only one person ran 50.68. These tools can help an athlete reach their potential, but they can't create the potential in the first place. Sydney's brilliance is the engine. The spikes and the track are just well-oiled gears. So, when we look back at that incredible race, we see more than just a woman running fast. We see the culmination of years of dedicated training. We see a biomechanical masterpiece where every movement is optimized for maximum efficiency and speed. We see a brilliant race strategist executing a daring and unprecedented plan with flawless precision. And we see the unshakable mental strength of a champion who trusts her preparation and her team. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone didn't just break a world record. She provided a new blueprint for what is possible in sport. She showed us that the limits we perceive are often just waiting for someone with the right combination of talent, strategy, and belief to run right through them. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into one of sport's most iconic moments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content that goes beyond the finish line. Let us know in the comments what other legendary performances you'd like us to analyze. Until next time.